Good morning children, this is Nageshwar Rao, IIT Chemistry faculty. Let us continue our topic combustion and flame. Already in the previous class we discussed about what is meant by combustion and what are the different types of combustion. And we discussed about the rate, that means factors affecting the rate of combustion. We discussed all these points in the previous class. Let us continue our topic combustion and flame by one more new topic in this chapter, that is nothing but structure of flame. That is nothing but structure of flame. Structure of flame. That means in this topic we are going to learn what are the different type of zones present in the flame. What are those? Let us discuss about each and everything clearly. Okay. Let us see a candle. Okay. Let us see a candle. And one more point before going to discuss about this one. In the first class, I told you one point clearly. That is what means combustion takes place in different type of substances in a different way. That is what when you take candle, it burns with a flame. When you take a candle, it burns with a flame. But when you take a coal, it burns without flame. This point already we discussed in the starting class. That means some substances participate in combustion and they are burning with a flame, but some of them are burning without the flame. What is the reason behind that? That we are going to discuss here. That is nothing but, let us see one example first of all. This is a burning candle. When you observe the candle, it burns with a flame. When you observe a candle, it burns with a flame. The reason behind this, why it is producing flame, means when candle is burns, some wax vapors or some wax is converted into vaporizing state. That vapors are burning and it is converted into a flame. That means which combustible substances produce vapors, those only produce what? Flame. The substance which does not vaporize, that won't produce any flame. That means candle produce flame because it is participating in evaporation. That means some wax is converted into vaporizing state. But some of the substances, they won't produce any vapors. In that case, you cannot able to see any type of flame. Therefore, we can conclude that the combustible substances which can able to vaporize, they can able to produce flame. That is why some of the substances burns with a flame, but some of the substances won't burns with a flame. They will burn, but they won't give any type of flame. This is what the explanation for that reason. Let us see what is the structure of the flame. What are the different zones are present. This is one example, is nothing but a candle flame. This is nothing but a candle flame. Once you observe a candle flame, you can see different type of colors. You can see different type of colors. When you check the outer zone, that means outer layer of the candle, it is in blue color. Let us discuss one by one. The first one, inner zone. Let us start with inner zone. The inner zone of the candle is nothing but near to the wick. This is called a wick. Near to the wick only you can see innermost zone. When you check the innermost zone, it is look like black in color. It is look like black in color. And one more important point here. Normally, everyone think that the innermost zone is the hottest zone. Normally, everyone think. But when you came to reality, the innermost zone is the least hot zone. It is nothing but what? Least hot zone. What is the reason why it is least hot zone? Because here there is no complete combustion takes place, and moreover it is having a black color. The only reason behind that, due to presence of unburnt carbon particles. Unburnt carbon particle. That means whenever any unburnt carbon particles are present, they can produce more amount of smoke or they can produce black in color. Due to this incomplete combustion or due to presence of unburned carbon particles, It is having the color black and it is least hot zone. Very important point. But usually everyone think that the innermost zone of the candle flame is more hot, but it is comes under least hot zone due to presence of unburnt carbon particle. That means combustion only takes place in the near to the wick. That's why it is converting into a black color. Let us start with the next one. That is nothing but middle zone. Okay, usually when you check the candle in middle, this is called middle zone. You can see different type of colors. Usually it is comes under yellow sometimes or orange. Yellow or orange in color. You can see both the colors. Okay, and moreover when you comes under either it is comes under more hot or least hot, means it is comes under moderatively hot zone. Moderatively, that means it is not least hot zone, it is not very hot zone, it is comes under moderatively hot zone. Why it is comes under moderatively hot zone means, the reason behind this is there is no sufficient oxygen present in the middle zone. That means only a few amount of oxygen is present. Due to that reason it is moderatively hot zone because of incomplete combustion. Because of what ma? Incomplete combustion. Due to incomplete combustion, the middle zone of the candle flame is nothing but moderatively hot zone. And this middle zone is also called as luminous zone. This is called luminous zone. Why the middle zone of the candle flame is called luminous zone means, it is nothing but it emits light. That means when you observe candle flame, it will also produce some light. Because of the reason it emits light. Emits light is nothing but what? Luminous. That's why in which of the zone in a candle flame called luminous zone means the middle zone. Because middle zone can able to emit light. Which can emit lights, that is called as what ma? Luminous zone. Okay, and it is called moderatively hot zone. The reason behind that, it is incomplete combustion takes place. Why it is incomplete combustion? Only a few amount of oxygen present in the middle zone. Okay, and the color of the middle zone is nothing but either yellow or orange. Yellow or orange. Let us start. The next one is nothing but third one, outer zone. It is the hottest zone. The outer zone of the candle flame is nothing but hottest zone in the candle flame. And when you observe the outer layer of the candle, you can see it is in the form of blue color. You can see it is in blue color. Why it is producing blue color and why it is the hottest zone means, complete combustion takes place in the outermost zone. Complete combustion takes place. That means whenever you want to use any light, you need to use only outer zone, because outer zone only can able to produce hottest zone. That means you can apply more amount of heat energy by keeping anything in the outermost zone instead of middle zone and innermost zone. That is why outer zone is nothing but the hottest zone. And moreover, this outer zone most zone is called non-luminous zone. Okay, non-luminous zone. That means it won't emit any light. Okay, normally middle zone is called luminous zone, but outermost zone is called as non-luminous zone. The only reason behind that, it won't emit any light. The important point about this one is, it is in the color of blue color, hottest zone due to complete combustion takes place, and it is also called as non-luminous zone. When you are going any goldsmith, usually they will use only outermost zone instead of middle and innermost zone. What is the reason? Because outermost zone is the hottest zone. Outermost zone is the hottest zone. Okay, this is about structure of flame. This is about structure of flame. Let us discuss about the next one is nothing but fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers. Normally in the starting class we discussed about if any person caught by fire, what we need to do initially, what we are doing, we need to cover with a blanket. Why you are covered with a blanket? There we discussed everything. Let us discuss about the fire extinguisher here. Okay, first of all, fire is caused by mainly three reasons. The first one, due to presence of combustible substance, due to presence of combustible substance. Next one, presence of oxygen. The third one, attainment of ignition temperature. That means if a fire is caused, means these are the three important points. The only reason, first one, presence of combustible substance. If there is a combustible substance, what will happen? Fire will take place. Presence of oxygen. If oxygen is there, because oxygen is the supporter of the fire. The third one is nothing but attainment of ignition temperature. If any combustible substance is not attaining its ignition temperature, therefore you cannot see any fire. Must and should every combustible substances reach its ignition temperature, then only it is participating in burning. Therefore, these are the three important points. Then what is meant by fire extinguisher? Fire extinguisher is nothing but to stop the fire. That means when you want to control the fire or when we want to stop the fire, what we need to do? We need to remove any of these three. Any one, if you stop now, then you can able to control the fire. Therefore, we need to remove combustible substance first of all. That means fuel is there, no? That we need to remove. If you remove the fuel, then what happens? There is no combustion. The second one, presence of oxygen. If you cut off the supply of oxygen, then we can able to stop the combustion. The third one, attainment of ignition temperature. If you stop to reach the ignition temperature or if you reduce the temperature, then what will happen? We can able to control the fire. Then what is meant by fire extinguisher? Fire extinguisher is nothing but to stop the fire or to control the fire. Then we have different type of fire extinguishers. Mainly, whenever any fire accident happens, usually we like to use only water is the first one. That means water we are using for as a fire extinguisher. Am I correct or wrong? Yes, sir. Okay, but in all the cases we are not supposed to use the water is a fire extinguisher, because water is a fire extinguisher for only like wood type. Okay, but it is not as a fire extinguisher like oil, petrol or any electrical equipments. That means fire happened for any electrical equipments or fire caused by any oil industry or petrol or any electrical equipment. We are not supposed to use water as a fire extinguisher. I will explain what is the reason. But we can able to use fire extinguisher, water as a fire extinguisher for in the case of any accident happen for wood. That time you can use. Why we are not supposed to use water as a fire extinguisher for oil or electrical equipment? The only reason behind that, water is a good conductor of electricity. That means if fire accident happen because of the electrical equipment, when you are if you want to control the fire, if you are using water, means what will happen? Water conduct electricity and it causes more fire. That's why we are not supposed to use. Next case, oil or petrol. You know the meaning of density. That means when you compare the density of water and oil and petrol, what happened here? Which is having more density? Water is having more density and oil and petrol are less density. If these two are less density, means what will happen? Here water means when you pour water, it form a layer and oil will comes to top, then what will happen? It causes fire. That means, what is the use of using water here as a fire extinguisher? That means when you pour water on the oil, what will happen? Due to high density, the oil occupies the surface and water comes under bottom. Then it is not able to stop the fire. Therefore, there is no use of water used as a fire extinguisher in the case of oil and petrol as well as electrical equipment. In that case, that means like oil or petroleum or electrical equipment, we can use one more important fire extinguishers, that is nothing but carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the another important one which we can use as a fire extinguishers. Okay, that means you know the cylinders, gas cylinders. Okay, first of all, sir, it is in the form of gaseous state. Then how can we use as a carbon dioxide as a fuel? Sorry, fire extinguishers. The only thing is, you know the gas cylinders, LPG cylinders. There we are filling the gas in the form of liquid state by applying more pressure. Same like that only, this gaseous carbon dioxide also, okay, filled in that cylinders in the form of liquid state by applying more pressure. Therefore, we can use as a fire extinguisher by using the cylinders. Another case is nothing but like, you can see in some fire extinguishers, carbon dioxide is coming out in the form of powdery state. Am I correct or wrong? When you press, you can see some white color powder is coming out. Why it is coming like that means, the only reason behind that, we can use here sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate or potassium bicarbonate. Potassium bicarbonate with, that means in the cylinders what compound is present means either sodium bicarbonate or potassium bicarbonate with sulfuric acid. That means inside the cylinder they will mix these two compounds. When you press, what will happen? These two compounds are both will react and they will produce one compound, that is nothing but carbon dioxide, that you can see in the form of white color substance. That means carbon dioxide is also one of the important fire extinguishers which we are using to control the fire happen because of oil or petrol, and the next one like electrical equipment. In that case, what will happen? This carbon dioxide, for example, this is oil. Okay, now you pour carbon dioxide. Then what will happen? It form a layer and oxygen gas is here because carbon dioxide is more weight when compared to the oxygen. Then what happened? It form a layer between oil and oxygen. Therefore, it stop the contact between oxygen and oil. Therefore, there is no oxygen for burning. Then what happened? We can able to control the fire. Like this, we can use carbon dioxide as another important fire extinguisher. Sometimes what will happen? We can able to control the fire by reducing the temperature. That means three important. The first one, we need to remove the combustible substance. The second one, we can able to stop the contact between oxygen and the combustible substance. The third one, what ma? We can able to reduce the temperature. That means when you reduce the temperature, what will happen? We are reducing the ignition temperature. This is about the fire extinguisher. Okay. Hope you all understood. Okay. One more topic is there. We will see in the next class. Thank you so much.